welcome to A Stab in the Dark. We're doing a review of the 2024 film Y2K, out in cinemas in the US, but has not yet been distributed over to the European market. So we are going to look at it, review it. No spoilers, first of all. So you're safe until we say so if you want to watch it before and get our views on it. So we've got Jaden Martell, Rachel Zegler, and Julian Dennison starring in this film. I want to get some sort of thoughts from you, Mike.
Some overalls.
Yeah, overall thoughts about.
I thought it was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought it was okay. Some of the humor I don't think landed particularly well for me. I kind of wish it leaned one way or the other harder than it did. Either it played it a bit more straight, or it leaned and went a bit more wacky with it. I know it went a bit more wacky, as we'll get to in the spoiler section, but I wanted it like hardcore wacky, because there's movies from the actual era that it's set in that are wackier with their 90s-ness than this. I was hoping it would be a bit more like the Lawnmower Man and that kind of shit, like go crazy with the ridiculous rubbishy CGI kind of thing. But it was fine. I mean, it's worth as far as I'm concerned, it was worth a one-time watch. I probably won't watch it again, but
yeah, I don't think it's one I'm going to come back to that often. I thought it was all right, like you. It's okay. I just felt a bit of over-reliance on the nostalgia, actually. I thought there was a bit too much of that.
There was a lot of heavy-handed, I thought, like verbal. I like the music that it chose.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
But the verbal calls back to movies.
They kind of
I didn't like that.
Stuffed it in there a lot of this time. A lot of the time was like nostalgia.
There was no space left. It was just crammed full of nostalgia. Everything.
There wasn't a lot of space for plot or anything. Or character development, because it was relying so much on these references, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I did like it though. I liked it more than I expected, actually. I remember when I saw the trailer, I didn't quite like the look of the trailer very much. But I had a good time with it, to be honest. I don't know if I'd rewatch it either.
Yeah.
A glowing review from us all. Yeah.
But it's better than I expected.
Right.
It's much better. It's much better
than the ratings.
It's much better than people are saying, in my opinion. Jaden Martell's really good, I think. I do like him.
One of the flaws in this movie is that we don't get enough of him. As far as I'm concerned.
I would agree with you about
the main guy.
Yeah.
The main guy.
No, the New Zealandy guy.
No, that's not him.
No, that Jaden Martell's the main guy.
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
Julian Dennison is.
Oh, why did they have to have names beginning with J's? Confusing me. Yeah.
I was like, okay, you saw him a lot.
In fact, we got too much of him. We didn't get enough of the New Zealandy guy. Yeah.
I agree with you about the tone as well. Like, it was kind of silly, but then quite violent also, and I don't know if that worked.
It was a weird tonal mix, I feel like. Yeah.
But I liked it. I had fun with it.
It was a bit all over the place for me.
Yeah.
I felt the plot was a bit all over the place. Tonally, as you say, it's all over the place. And I think I would have preferred a Y2K movie that took itself seriously. Yeah. In a way, I would love to see a sort of disaster movie based around it.
Yeah, because the thing is, they can still be comedic with it, comedic with the premise if it's played straight, because it would be tongue in cheek.
It's normally much funnier when they do that.
Yeah, I mean, the audience would laugh, but the characters don't. Yeah. They're not joking along with it. The fact that the characters are joking along with it and making it into such a full blown comedy was a bit of a problem to the initial kind of idea they went with about it being a silly setup to start with, I think.
I mean, I would like to quite see a Y2K adaptation where it's a bit like 2012 or The Day After Tomorrow, but it's based around the actual theoretical possibilities, what could have happened.
Yeah, because they do this a lot, like Moonfall and so on. A lot of these aren't good movies, but they're presented in such a straight way that even if you think the idea is ridiculous as this is, it's kind of an enjoyable movie just to see the CGI and the baffling happenings and what they wanted to do with the silly idea. That's entertaining enough, I feel like.
So, other than Julian Dennison, any other real standout moments for you, Dave? Mike likes his performance as Danny. Anything for you?
Well, like I said, I liked Jaden Martell as the main guy, but I
feel that's going to be a controversial one though, because I don't feel like
but he kind of always plays a straight man kind of thing, doesn't he? I mean, he was fine. I'm not.
Yeah, he does. He does. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit biased. I like him. I've been watching him since It. And I know that Sophia Lillis got a lot of buzz off the back of it, but I feel like he's been working steadily since then, and he's been in some good stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of appreciate that he signed on to do this. Yeah, I liked him.
I quite like the guy, the video store guy.
The director.
Is that the director?
Carl Mooney.
Yeah, he's quite fun.
That's Carl Mooney.
Cool. But again, in some of his scenes, he kind of breaks the tone a little bit because he's like a full through and through comedy character.
He is,
Yeah,
yeah.
And a lot of his scenes, particularly towards the start before everything's gone down, those are some good scenes, I feel like. But once it starts happening and he's continuing to being just a complete comedy character and not acknowledging the severity
especially
of
in like
situations.
the final act, like towards the end, he's still the same, right? And,
they're trying to juggle these two tones that just don't mix at all, I feel
There were
like.
some moments in the film for me where they should have like gone full into like, okay, now we're gonna have this epic fight scene, and then they subvert it, and they do that a few times in the film, and I feel like they go to the well once too often with the sort of jokes they pull.
And maybe it works in the earlier times, but because it's such an obvious like pull from under your feet that they use so many times, it seems like it almost expected. And the comedy of those moments works okay, I guess, and so do the effects of the violence that ensues. But I don't know. I'd prefer they went a different way with a lot of those, especially in the latter half of the movie. A lot of those, confrontations.
Yeah. I mean, there's a character I like in it that makes an appearance. We'll say for spoilers, but I feel like that's a pretty good.
Oh yeah,
highlight.
that's a selling point.
That's
for
fun.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was a part of the trailers, right?
Oh, I don't know because I don't
because I
don't
knew
know.
going in that he was going to be in it, but I won't spoil it for.
Yeah, but it's fun
just
if
in
you don't
case.
know. The more the less you know, the better. On this occasion, I think because I was like, oh, cool, that's really cool. When
Yeah,
this-
that's one of the fun. I wish they lent into that more.
yeah,
Pulled
definitely.
out some Z-listers and D-listers from the 90s, right?
Yeah.
They're doing like reality shows or whatever. Bring them out of the Big Brother house and get them in this movie.
It's a bit like having Barry from EastEnders in.
Yeah, exactly, man.
In your
Get the
show.
equivalent of Phil from EastEnders in there. Some like Jersey Shore types or whatever from the early 90s.
So yeah,
Late 90s.
I think overall with this one, it's a bit all over the place. It's fun to watch. It's not going to harm you in any way, but it's not going to change the world. The plot's all over the place. The characters are fine. I think Rachel Zegler's fine. She's
She's okay. Yeah.
She's a bit of a non-entity, to be honest, for most part for me.
Yeah, her character's a bit strange as well. I mean, I guess that they were kind of.
I mean, her character's all over the place
Yeah,
for
she
me.
I
kind
feel
of
like they
exists as
were
a cardboard
trying to
cutout
do
for
it-
him to put stuff
Yeah.
on, I feel like.
Yeah.
I guess we can talk about it more in spoilers, maybe.
Yeah.
I would say, and I agree with everything that you said, but I do feel that it achieved what it set out to do. Like, I don't think that it took a swing and
No.
missed. Like, I think it's more.
Correct.
I think it's more that like we dislike the intention. I think like the execution.
The execution
I
is
thought it was
fine.
fine.
I think the execution could be better, but my flaws really, like, as you say, lie in the fact that they approached this from the wrong direction.
Yeah, yeah.
I really liked the trailer, so I came on the opposite end to you there, and I really liked it, and I expected a bit more out of it than I got. I didn't mind it, but I thought, oh, a Y2K disaster movie, something really cool, interesting, different take on it, comedic, and I was expecting a bit of like the James Franco style zaniness, perhaps, to do
Yeah,
with it.
yeah.
The end of the world.
This is
that
the
sort
end
of thing.
kind
Yeah,
of
this is the end
thing.
type thing.
Yeah.
And it didn't really quite deliver on that for me, so that's probably where my rating will go down for it. So let's do ratings, and then we'll get into spoilers. Dave, what do you give it out of 10?
Oh, 6.
6?
Yeah.
Mike?
Well, I mean, on the binary system, well, binary, the opposite. The 10-3 system of online, I gave it a
Decimal.
6, but I'd probably give it a 5.5 if I could give the free
Yeah, I'd
true
I'd give it
ratings.
a 5. I think a
Yeah.
5 from me. Yeah. So there we go. That is no spoilers. Let us know when you've watched it. Come back to us afterwards. Pause your video. Go right now to your local theatre. Or don't illegally download it if you're in your...
Don't do that.
I would never do that.
We
Nobody
don't
does
endorse
that.
that.
You wouldn't steal a car.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody would download a car if they could.
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
Who would do that? No.
And we're going to go into spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Oh my God, I can't believe Andrew Garfield was in the video store.
What?
What 90s sensation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe Toby Maguire, is that right?
Tobey Maguire,
Tobey
yeah.
Maguire.
It's still a tiny
Just
bit too
going for
late.
Spider-Man.
I can't believe he was in it as well, in the video
Yeah.
store.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, in the video store.
Yeah, 90s icon Tom Holland.
Yeah, when he was like
When he was a
5.
baby, yeah.
But I did actually love the inclusion of Fred Durst.
It was a lot of fun.
That was
yeah.
one of the best
Yeah.
bits for me, honestly. Not that I particularly am a Fred Durst fan, but like his inclusion makes it a bit more of a like fun.
Did you
kind
not
of
learn anything from this
funky
film?
element?
Do you
The
think?
hatred of Fred Durst cost this world so much?
I mean, I don't hate his music as much as some. I think it's a bit trash, but I think I dislike Fred Durst the person more than I do the music. So it goes in the opposite direction for me. Yeah.
I enjoyed his inclusion. I enjoyed the like wackiness of them doing faith.
The whole tone of the film made sense when he was in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I
So
wish
I wonder.
they'd lent into that more.
I wonder if like they played it straight until he came in, if that would have worked better, or
Maybe.
or if he was just in it from the beginning. I don't know.
The thing is, it works so well in Zombieland, right, with Bill Murray.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they went for comedy all the way through, and the comedy persisted with Bill Murray there. So I think it's just the writing's problem. It's not necessarily, as far as Fred Durst is concerned, it's not the approach that's at fault. It's possibly just the writing isn't strong
You're right,
enough
though. The Bill Murray inclusion in Zombieland is fantastic and quite iconic.
Correct.
Whereas this one doesn't. I think it's almost trying to do that and doesn't quite hit the heights.
Yeah, it's
of
almost certainly influenced by that. If they hadn't done that in
definitely.
Zombieland, they probably wouldn't have done it here.
I haven't put two and two together.
But I think it would have been way more fun if they'd just like screw these characters. Like, let's just follow Fred Durst and the Y2K thing. Yeah.
To me, it did have that kind of like mid 2000s, 2010s feel, Hangover. From Mike Tyson appearing in that role, and then you've got
they're trying to call back. They're definitely trying to like overtly call back to late 90s, early 2000s comedies.
They go too far into like what made those 90s and 2000s things special is that they
were funny.
But they were in their time frame. Like they haven't tried to recreate what was actually happening at that time. They've just gone, oh, what were kids doing at that time? Weren't they doing the Macarena? And we'll just have some random kids on.
It's a bit like a bingo card, right? Isn't it? Where they're just going through the squares and ticking them off.
Somewhat insincere, isn't it? Like cashing in on nostalgia is always kind of insincere in a way. Like, but I mean, I guess
there's a way
like
to do it though, isn't
there? I mean, I guess like Kyle Mooney. Well, I guess he's like around about 40 now, so he's probably like
he's
a teenager,
no doubt,
probably like a teenager
at
at
that
this time.
Makes me think that someone
he lived
really
it. He lived it, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with them walking into a Blockbusters and it being nostalgic because you feel nostalgic. If it's in the period of time it's meant to be in, then there is going to be a Blockbuster. The rental market was huge then, wasn't it? And like everything that is there, but they ham-fisted all in. It's all like in there because we want nostalgia and we want it now.
It should be a bit more incidental, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't like that Danny gets killed off.
That is the New Zealandy guy. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that actively, more than any other decision in this movie, that actively hurts this movie.
Definitely.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that character.
No,
I didn't like him.
I felt like he was the heart and soul. He's the main character we should have had. Fuck the straight man. Kill the
that would have actually been a good subversion.
I would have loved if we'd followed his character, or at the very least.
Then he gets off with Rachel Zegler at the end.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
After he's trashed him at the party. Tells everyone he drinks piss. He just dies. Yeah. But hopefully in some amusing manner where he just drowns in a toilet or something as a piss drinker.
No, I would have had like Jane Martell die, but then come back reanimated by the Thing as like the face of the villain.
As like the Robo.
Yeah.
So
cool.
what didn't you like about that?
Fun, yeah.
His character, because he's been in like Deadpool stuff.
No, I got nothing against. And he was in Hunt for the World of People. Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
He was in Hunt for the World of People as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, I mean I like the actor. I got nothing against that. I just like his comedy just didn't work for me personally.
I love it. Like he brings the life to it when they do the thong song. And
I think the comedy isn't very well written, but because it's him. He sells it well, and I enjoy it.
No, like his performance was really good. I got no issue with that. I just didn't like his character. Conception.
I watched this one with my mom and Terry actually when we watched this last night, and we were all a bit like, "Oh, he's dead!" Like,
that sucked.
It ruined the rest of the film. I'd rather see him than the stupid skater boy girl, like the Fred Durst.
I kind of liked her.
I liked her
as well. She was probably my second favourite.
Yeah, she was
character.
She was the best character.
But not for Danny boy.
Danny was the boy. Like it's my most memorable bit of watching this movie is feeling like, oh fuck's sake, when he dies.
Yeah,
I feel like it hurts the integrity of the movie a little bit. Like
it gave him an opportunity to actually raise the stakes. They could have played it a bit straighter from then on. Made it,
else.
But they didn't. They just go straight back to it's like 5 minutes later. He's like, oh, I want to kiss Rachel Zegler again.
And
Like,
he doesn't really give a shit, does he?
Yeah.
After
That is
little
true. Yeah,
cry.
yeah, that's true.
And then also, what is that kill afterwards where the guy on the skateboard stops and does?
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
such a.
That's not well done.
It's like a weird anti-joke that could have worked, but it's
Yeah.
so weirdly badly executed that I'm not sure it works very well.
And he's
at all.
like, he just like goes, and then he like bleeds.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
that's
probably
the-
dead.
that's the
He
joke,
must
isn't
be
it? Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, but it doesn't come across well. Like,
Yeah.
No,
I don't think it
intended
translates well.
I don't- well, 'cause
especially after
that
the
go-
kind of bullshit like actual death that we care
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Well, but that guy is massive though. Like I bet a lot of people watch the film for that guy because of Stranger Things. He was in American Vandal as well, but
Right.
like he was super popular in the last season of Stranger Things. And when I saw
Yeah.
him in the trailer, I was like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
I
that's-"
didn't even realize it was that guy.
yeah, the long-haired guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rocker guy from Stranger Things.
So maybe knowing
Yeah, he's
him,
like Jonathan's friend.
Yeah.
knowing him, then maybe you get a bit more out of that than you get more of a kick out of that than you would otherwise. But I think if you have a movie and it lives and dies on do you know that person and not the quality of it itself is a little bit. Not
Well, I don't think like the movie lived or died on like
No, it didn't.
on that joke landing. I think
but it was a big moment. It's like a moment where the comedy, that's its comedy styling for the whole film. And that's one of its like...
I mean, I didn't like a lot of... I mean, that's a big example of me not liking the comedy. I also didn't like... I've seen people be positive about online, and good for them, I guess. But I didn't like the rubbish rapping comedy throughout.
That was a bit awkward to me.
It seemed a
but-
bit like kind of cringe, to use modern
with
vernacular.
that guy with the glasses.
Like, it's cringe on purpose, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it just seems like... I didn't like
Also,
it. Yeah.
when
That's
near
probably
the
what...
beginning...
That is what people did in the early 2000s
Yeah.
and so on. With their friends. I know,
maybe.
I know I did a couple of times. It's probably terrible. Thankfully, there is no
Oh, give,
footage
go on.
of that. But
give us a
I'm not
rendition.
going to do
Go on,
that
about this
on the
film.
internet.
Wrap it up with your...
That's not going to happen. No. Yeah,
Hey,
but yeah,
you could have a good flow.
I didn't mind it in the first instance where the long-haired guy's doing it and it's kind of a terrible rap and also that was kind of funny and interesting. But they did it like 20 times in this movie, so
Yeah.
yeah. You enjoyed that?
Just you go, oh, it's quite funny.
But that's the meme,
You
right?
hit
Yeah.
something.
No, he didn't. That kind of thing. Yeah.
I thought the opening is really slow, actually, where they get to the point of Y2K. I'm not quite sure. Weird shifts of, like, it went to fifth gear
Yeah,
to, like,
the pacing.
1 and-
Pacing was a little bit odd, although I did like the opening of the movie probably more than the latter part. There's something wrong with a horror movie when I like the bit without the robots more than the bit with the robots.
That's true. I just want to like work out, when did LOL become a thing? Because I feel like it wasn't around when MSN chat, like 2000 chat rooms were. Was LOL a thing in 2000?
I don't know.
1999?
I
Because he does.
I think it
anime-
almost certainly was.
Surely, yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
started using it in like probably mid to late 2000s, right? I guess.
I
was using it in
so.
secondary
I can't
school.
really remember.
Yeah.
Well, I remember having the AOL browser and using
So
MSN.
apparently 1980s.
So we're talking like,
Oh.
yeah.
So it was just funny because you think that's yours and it's not. It's a Gen X thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of gone now. Nobody really uses
No,
LOL
no.
as much. Yeah.
We can talk about that in a separate podcast. We can do a whole LOL.
We're gonna do a
The death of LOL.
deep dive on text chat and how it survived and died.
With certain things that happen, like again, Rachel Zegler. Let's have Laura's character in general. She doesn't really come across as like a computer geek who's just
Yeah.
popular, even though she likes computers. And
I mean,
it's
I
just
feel like
weird.
the intention of it was like a subversion of the popular girl trope where she's like really smart also.
Yeah,
But
it doesn't.
it doesn't.
land.
No, it didn't
It's
quite
not
work.
very well translated. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Um,
And especially as a lot of the other characters are kind of cardboard cut out
Hmm.
representations of like different like cliques in high school of the time.
maybe it would have
trying-
been. Maybe it would have been better if because he's chatting to her right at the beginning.
Yeah.
And he knows. Did I just cut you off? Sorry.
No,
No,
you just
just-
did like a sniff thing.
Lovely cocaine before this, right? Yeah.
So it's from my fan fiction inspiration. No, maybe it would have been better if like he was chatting to her, but he didn't know at the beginning it was her. He just knew her handle.
Yeah.
and
perhaps.
like had
Oh,
like
yeah,
and
yeah.
had like an idea of who she was and thought it was someone else. And and then didn't realize until and then he was like hostile to her for the whole
Yeah,
thing.
that could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very much.
Yeah,
so.
I quite like that.
I mean, that would give a bit more depth to at least one of the characters.
because like he could have been a
Any.
dick to her or something, and it would have been a bit of conflict, right? And then he realizes and he's like, oh, he actually has some character growth then.
A bit like Halloween Resurrection, when they've never met each other, but they chat online, and then she's in the house, and they have each
Possibly.
other, and they finally meet.
Did I accidentally plagiarize Halloween
No, not
Resurrection?
quite, not quite.
the masterpiece. That
Yeah, it's all right. I
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
on my underrated.
I like that film. Yeah.
All right, there we go then. Anything else to say, lads?
I also kind of wish they'd kept some of the assholes from the start alive a bit longer for a bit of more.
Yeah, they reduced the cast a bit
they
too
did.
quick.
Yeah, because you get this other ex-boyfriend of Rachel Zegler's later on, who's like a nothing character. He's like an
Oh,
absolute
Cuba
nobody.
Gooding Jr.'s son.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't quite
If
understand their relationship, but like, are they still dating? What's going on?
yeah, that wasn't given any kind
Yeah.
of like backing to it
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And,
whereas we had this Chris person who was already established
That
to
kid,
be a
Leroy.
dick
Yeah.
jock guy. Could have kept him alive a little
Yeah.
bit longer.
Dave, you know all of these weird, random American people.
I like, yeah. I know.
You're right
I know
in
about
there.
Gen Z music. I'm all about that. I'm down with the kids.
He's a zoomer over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And another thing I'll say is I wish they'd been a bit more inventive than just all of the machines sticking together and becoming a
I
monster.
like
That's-
that. I'll
okay.
tell you why I like that. There's an episode of
because it's like something you like.
yes. No, but it's
That doesn't necessarily
No.
justify
Come on,
it.
come
It's
on.
something.
the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They did like a new like 2000s cartoon.
Yeah.
One of the early episodes, my favorite episode, was like a cloud of like little nanomachines that would like suck up
Nanomachines.
metal, and then it would
that?
over the course of the episode
Build
it'd
up
get
to be a big.
bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Actually,
And,
just
and I think that's really cool. I mean, that was like right.
Yeah,
from
but I'm
the 2000s.
assuming that's a better, like implementation of that idea than this one.
I mean, it's basically the same. To be honest.
doesn't the whole plantation and that they put it in a public building make you just think of the Cybermen? Like, is it?
yeah.
Doctor Who.
Oh, God, I did actually
Yeah.
genuinely think though.
I mean, it makes me think of thousands of things. Like,
Yeah, but I think
this
of the
idea is
Cybermen
not
specifically.
new. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this idea has even been done in a comedic. This isn't the first
Sorry.
time it's been done in a comedic
Yeah.
way, let
But
alone
I
in a
thought
straight way.
the episode that Neil Gaiman wrote actually isn't that one where they all get the implant in the side of
Yeah,
their heads?
yeah, it is, yeah.
So that's what it reminded me of.
Maybe that's why I hated it. It's
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was I going to say? I was going to say, oh yeah, the best scene for me is the one where the murderous robots start attacking everyone in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just goes batshit crazy. He goes from 1 to 11.
I do like it when they're smaller before they get.
Yeah.
I like them when they're basically.
Yeah,
just
that's
what
what
they
I
are.
don't like. Them becoming these like big walking.
I like the idea
The
of
thing
it.
like
It
throwing
just
that
it's
spike
a bit less
Yeah.
scary. It was a bit more interesting when they were like.
I'd
more in
love
the-
it if there was. It would add to the comedy angle if there was like toasters flying at them and
Yeah.
like washing machines trying to get.
Isn't that
them
like
and
the?
stuff.
Isn't that the Y2K episode of The Simpsons?
Well, yeah. I mean, wrong with
That's
that.
right.
That's funnier.
Well, you mean it's like something you wanted to see before, something you like from the past? Which
Yeah,
would be
well,
better?
I'm not-
oh.
See,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
unoriginal and shit. You got to be original or you got to be good. You got to be one of those for me to like it. So
Fucking hell! You're gonna change your rating.
And now on that, 4 out of 10.
it's 1. It's just as bad as Jack and Jill by Adam Sandler.
Whoa, come on.
All right, there you go. There's our review of Y2K. Soon to be released here in the UK, I'm sure, when A24 like actually get their shit together and start distributing films at the same time around the world as they do to the American audience.
I mean, it might not be distributed here after the bad press, perhaps.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
Rachel Zegler is also not a popular actress right
Yeah,
now
she's-
for
there's
many
been-
reasons.
Things.
Snow White. Snow White.
Mm.
Not fit for modern times. Anyway, let's go. See you soon in the
See ya.
future.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.